What's up, gamers? The Red Dragon here, and we are checking out the latest headlines happening right now in the gaming and tech world. And on the front page of VGN, got a couple of really big stories that tie directly into one another, and this pretty much affects you, I am going to guess. If you're watching this, my guess is that you've probably bought something over the internet. You've downloaded a game from Origin or Steam or from PlayStation or Xbox, or you've downloaded a program. Something is on your computer that you've purchased digitally that you didn't get a physical copy of. So if that's you, then pay attention, because the rules could be about to change, and it could directly impact anybody who's purchased or purchases digital content. So let's start off by saying, you know what, everything in this world you can buy and resell pretty much. You can buy and resell your house, your car, your cow, your porn, your donkey, whatever. You can buy it and resell it. Everything really, except for something digital. If you have downloaded a game on Origin or Steam and you're done playing with it, it's just going to sit on your computer and rot. And there's nothing that you can get out of it. Unless you sell your PC or you sell your PlayStation or Xbox and those games go with it, you're never going to be able to get any type of funds back out of it. That's just the way it is. That's just the way the company set it up. And it's actually a pretty smart deal on their end from a business standpoint, because if you want to play that game, you got to buy it new, and you got to buy it from them. And that way they can keep track of it. Well, that could be about to change. Back on July 3rd, the European High Court, they said this: an author of software cannot oppose the resale of his used licenses, allowing the use of his programs downloaded from the internet. That pretty much says anything you've ever bought off the internet, it's yours and you can resell it. Now, the ownership isn't yours, but you're getting a license, and that license allows you to play that game. And what they're saying is, no matter what that license originally said whenever you signed up, because it probably said something, this is a one-term deal and it's non-transferable, the High Court says that's all baloney. You have the right to resell that copy. That is big. And why nobody is really talking about it, I am clueless. I think probably a lot of it has to do with nobody really knows where this is going from here. So before we get too excited, let me bring you back down a little bit. For one, it's the European High Court. So anybody in the US, Canada, Mexico, wherever, if you're not in Europe, it's not going to really help us at this point. But we can watch, see where this is going, and it could have an impact on all of us. And I'll get to that here in a little bit. Don't get totally bummed out and turn it off just yet. Hold tight. I'm getting there. 2, this was a particular complaint with one customer and a publisher or software company, whatever. But the High Court did say it doesn't matter. It's not a ruling just in favor of this one particular case. This ruling applies to all software companies, to all digital content, whether it's Adobe Photoshop or you're downloading a copy of Black Ops or Skyrim. Doesn't matter. So what's going to happen from here? I'll be honest, I don't look for Steam and Origin to just simply roll over, turn on a switch, and say, okay, you can all of a sudden download and resell the games. It's not going to work like that. Probably consumers are going to have to actually go after these companies, bring complaints, lawsuits, whatever, and they're going to have to say, you know what, the High Court has already said that this is the way it should be, and it's not happening yet, and these companies need to start. And they're going to fight it. They're going to throw up a lot of money and lawyers, and eventually, since it's their High Court that's already said this, I don't see how they could possibly win, but they can kind of drag it out as to when it gets implemented. So how close are they to actually implementing something like this? How close is being able to resell digital copies of stuff? It may be a little bit closer than what we expect. GameStop, which is a huge retailer, of course, The CEO mentioned the other day that they were already in talks and looking at other business models of how they have it set up in Europe. In Europe, there are already some businesses who are working with publishers to be able to have consumers buy and resell the digital content. So it's already happening in some places. They have a system set up. GameStop's looking at that, seeing what works, what doesn't work, how it makes sense for them money-wise. But used business, the used game business sale is huge for GameStop. And if the future is digital copies, you can be sure they are definitely looking at this, and they are going to figure out some way to make this work, whether the publishers get a little bit of the proceeds back from the resale or whatever. So there you go. There's the two big stories. You've got the European High Court saying that you can resell games, and you've also got GameStop also looking into the digital used business model. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. Discs are on their way out, and digital is the future, and a lot of companies agree. The biggest complaint that I always get when I say that in the comment section is people always jump on and say the problem with digital is you can't resell it. But here we are. If we get over this hurdle, there's no reason to have a disc again. I know some people are worried about internet connection and all that, but as I've said before also, you know, they've got memory units that are so freaking small and fast. You could just walk into a kiosk or a GameStop or whatever, and they may have a system set up where you just pop in your unit, download the game, and then you're off. So if you don't have the internet connection to download a game, then it'll still work out, and you still don't need a disc in order to do it. So post your comments below. Let me know what you think, if this is as big of a story as I think it is. And if the future is going to change, you know, if they come up with a good model over in Europe, hopefully they would want to implement it everywhere to have the highest customer satisfaction. So if some company steps up and says, you know what, we're going to allow resale of our games, then that's really going to put a lot of pressure on other companies to follow suit, because you got to keep the customer happy. So there you go. If you want more news, check out VGN videogamesandnews.com. Also, you can get the news from me on Twitter, Facebook. I'm everywhere. So there you go. Links in the description box. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.